My heart be strong, true to my soul. Wake up, almost home. Sun sinking down, just about gone. Spirit, lead me home. Winds of change leave me broken, blown from the path I have chosen. Leaves in the trees, they are calling, calling. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Golden moon is rising over the whispering trees. Last ridge over and I'll be done. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Morning star is still sleeping, even the hoot owl's asleep. The path of the heart is still calling, calling. Follow the dipper, the moonlight, the stars. The path of the heart takes you home. Paths of the heart lead home.
Good morning. Will all of you find your seats and prepare for this morning's service. I want to give you a warm welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Columbia. My name is Rebecca Drennan, and I'm your service leader today. And as you know, our minister is Reverend Stephen Robinson. Our services are streamed on YouTube and on Zoom, but no matter how you choose to join us, you're always welcome. So for any more information about UUCC, please visit our website. And if you don't know, it's UU Columbia, I have to look at it again, .org, uucolumbia.org. And you can always follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We are a congregation that welcomes families with children, and we provide childcare during our services for infants and children under 5. And today, after the story circle, the kids will go back to their CYRE classes. So we're happy to have you here. We welcome all of you. If any of you have a itch and you want to be a helper in that baby nursery, you always can volunteer and check in with back there. And I'm sure there are people that'll welcome you. So now let us all quiet ourselves and prepare for this wonderful sacred time as we listen to this prelude.
As the men of Encore come on up to sing this, let me just say by way of introduction that yes, this has non-inclusive language. It's an historical artifact, and we would hate to lose the reference to the John Donne poem by making this inclusive. So just listen to it with your historical ears on, and no, we're not trying to be sexist here.
That was wonderful, wonderful. Would you all please rise in body or spirit and join me in the congregational covenant that's found in the order of service. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Thank you. You may be seated. Unitarian Universalism is a diverse and non-creedal religion. Our community is based on deeds, not creeds. We are a covenantal religion, which means we don't have to believe the same in order to treat each other the same, with respect, equity, compassion, and dignity. We side with love, embracing and welcoming all people. Our board members and committee chairs welcome your questions and comments. Board members may be recognized by the green tags they wear. So now, if you would like, I would like to ask Alyssa to come forward, and we want to recognize any guests or visitors who are here today. There we go. Please stand so that people can see you.
You'll meet me in a minute anyway. I'm Vicki Ringer. I live in Lexington. I've been here many times. It's good to see so many of you. I'm with Planned Parenthood South Atlantic.
Lovely, thank you. Oh, there's one back here? No. No, that's it, I think. Thank you, thank you. And Vicki, in case you'd like to know more, you can always check us out on our email, or you may already be on our list for email. Yeah. Oh, dear. Understood. Well, it's my great pleasure to announce that today's chalice lighters are going to be some of our newest members, Jim and Sylvia Ellisor. I wonder if you'll come forward and light our chalice for today. Thank you, dears. Yes. And now we're going to hear from Annette Flavel, who is co-chair of that membership committee. Before you start, I want to say these beautiful flowers were given to us today by the membership committee and the caring committee. So anytime you feel led that you want to give some flowers, let us know. Mike, we need a microphone there.
Okay, these are our lovely new members for today's joining ceremony. We do this once a year. Somebody talked about doing it twice a year, which is a possibility. Anyway, I'm going to say a few words and then I will introduce the new members and they will come up and sign the book. And I wanted to start by saying that sometimes things go wrong. You know, you order decorations and only half of the decorations arrive. You order a cake and they make a half sheet instead of a full sheet. These are really minor disturbances. Other times in life, we can go through divorce, we can go through loss, we can go through grief. And when things go wrong, small things or large things, we need community. And that's what we're here for. We're here for community. And that's what we're all about. When you're a new member, you join the UUCC for your own reasons, and you usually get something out of it. You get friendship, you get connection, you get a good sermon on a Sunday, you get a great musical program, as shown, really showcased yesterday. It's a symbiotic relationship, though. You get something out and you put something in. You join a committee, you join the choir, your children go to the children's program, you might go to the mountain. So there's something out and there's always something in. I would like to invite Sylvia. Sylvia, would you like to come up and sign first? There you go. Sylvia Brown is somebody who you probably thought she was already a member because she's really active. She's very active in the choir. She's a real regular attendee. So thank you, Sylvia. And Sarah Emily Carter, we heard from her last week. She gave us a great informational session about paganism, and she's active in CUPS, C-U-U-P-S. Jessica Cloud, Jim and Sylvia Ellisor, Jim and Sylvia, you just saw them lighting the chalice. They have been lifelong Lutherans and they were looking for something different, and they have been regular attendees and they live close by. John and Maura Farley, yeah, that's anywhere there, thank you. John and Maura. John and Maura are friends of Nancy and Emilio's, and Nancy and Emilio finally convinced them to join. The first time I saw them was at the Christmas Carol show, singing loudly and proudly. And Sharon Givens, thank you. Sharon reminded me this morning that she's not a new member because she was a member from 2007 until 2012. And so we've decided to call her a re-member. Thank you. Amelia and Barry. Amelia and Barry, you've seen them. They have been active with the children's program. Their son is Leo. And they're about to give us another new member in a couple of weeks. Nancy Krause. In fact, I don't know much about Nancy because Nancy sits over there and I sit back there, but I look forward to learning more about you. Thank you. And Kerry Quinn. Hi. Kerry is not a new UU. She's a new member, but she's not a new UU. She has experience in the Unitarian faith. And Clift has been around for a while. He's issues with commitment. But he's finally decided to make it official. And thank you. And David, where's David Stevens? There you are. David, you see David making art, and you also see David in the choir, so he's quite active as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Annette. And you can learn more about each of these new members. There are some lovely bios in the social hall as we have our reception. You can take some time to do that and get to know them. And of course, you can talk to them too. So that's always a good thing. So we are so happy you're here. And for those of you who are very uncomfortable standing up here in front of the crowd, we're going to do it for a little bit longer. So sorry about that. But we have some words that we're going to share. So if everyone will take out their green form insert from the program, from the order of service. And the only difference we're going to do is we have adopted a new covenant officially, which is what we read every Sunday before the service. And so instead of our old covenant at the bottom, we will read or recite our new covenant, which you should know from our typical Sunday service. So these people of faith stand before us to proclaim their decision to formally join this community of faith. All right, I ask the congregation, those that are able to stand, at least stand in body and spirit, and read your lines. And I invite you as new members, if you want to just look in the eyes of some of these older members that are out here and hear these words, not old members, older members. We celebrate Yes, welcome to each of you. So let us all, congregation and new members, commit ourselves to our congregational covenant. Love is the doctrine of this congregation. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve others in community. Thus do we covenant with one another. Let's give our new members a round of applause. Thank you. You can be seated. We're going to have a RE program this morning, and so we're going to do our story for all ages as quickly as possible so that they have plenty of time back there. They're doing a full reminiscing of this CYRE year, and so we are looking forward to that. So please join me down front for the story for all ages. Good morning. We'll get time for everybody to get here. Find a comfy seat. Thanks, Annette. All right, we're going to keep this short because you have a really fun activity during the service. You're going to get a chance to reminisce and look back over this year in CYRE. I know Jonathan and Janice have some great activities, and Anna's got music prepared, so just a lot of fun. But I wanted to talk about what you just saw happen up here. Was anybody paying attention to all these people standing up here? Yep. Yep. What did you see? That is right. We're inducting new members into our congregation. So all those people, how many was that, Annette? 12 people, all 12 of those people up here this morning were dedicating themselves to be a part of this community, and we were welcoming them. And we have a book that they signed, which is basically signing our membership list to be a part of us. So what did you think about that? What was it like watching that? It was good. All right. Interesting. All right. Yep. Artemis kept messing with you. Well, it looks like that's keep going on. So, anything else you saw? Oh, some people you thought were already members? Yep, I have that feeling sometimes when I see that. It's like, what's Cliff doing up there? What were you going to say? It's gone. All right. Can you imagine yourself standing up here like that one day? Yeah? No? Yes? Whew, that would be scary, right? Yeah, you ready to do that? Do you have something like that? It kind of makes me think about the first day of school when you're all getting ready to start school and the teacher does I shouldn't really be talking about that at the end of school, right? They're already talking about the first day of school next year. But that's kind of what it's like when everybody gets introduced and everybody says welcome, hopefully. So we look forward to one day when you get to that point where you're an adult, if you decide this is a community of faith for you, to be able to come and join us as well. So to all those new members, I do want you to stand up because they like to hear from you. So everybody stand up and at least find one of those folks that you saw and kind of give them a good smile. Everybody, you stand up. I'll stand up with you. All right, they're sitting around. Kind of look at them and you can see a few people. And on the count of 3, we're not going to do it loud. We just want you to say welcome. All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Welcome. All right, thank you for coming down. Enjoy your time this morning.
Our opening hymn is number 354 in your gray hymnal. We laugh, we cry. I invite you to stand in body or spirit to join in singing.
We laugh, we cry, we live, we die.
At this point in our service, we light candles of community for those who are holding joys that they'd like to share in this community, and also for those that are holding concerns that they would like to make known to this community as well. We always have candles in the foyer that you can pick up, 7 candles that are there. So I'm going to start us off this morning just with a first candle, and this is a candle that Linda Fennell asked me to light for our service today. She had 2 deaths in her family, 2 of her nieces this week, and so we are holding her close. She will be traveling for those funerals next week. If you have a candle and a joy and concern to share, please come do that briefly and put your candle here.
Good morning, I'm Bud Ashley again. Last week I had a candle of concern. My biopsy results came back this week, a few days ago, and I had 3 different skin abnormalities. The one on my face is benign, and the 2 on my back are also benign, so joy.
Good morning, I'm Jenny Verne. I received a text from Jeanette Watterson yesterday asking me if I would please light a candle. Many of you know she returned a week ago to upstate New York to be with her sister and her brother-in-law. Tuesday, she brought her brother-in-law home from the hospital while her sister remained in rehab. And Friday, she had to take him to the emergency room, and he's back in ICU. So once again, Joan is just kind of hanging there wondering what's going to happen with her life because she's the only person they have to take care of them. So keep them both in your thoughts and prayers. Jeanette said, I am fine. Ask for peace for them. But believe me, I think Jeanette could use a little herself. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Christina, and I'm lighting a candle of concern for my boss, Jerutha, who is back in the hospital due to complications from her endometrial cancer. And she's not doing very well, so thoughts, prayers, good vibes, anything you could give would really be appreciated. Thank you.
I'm Mary McLaughlin, and my sister also had a stroke the same time as Jeanette's sister, the middle of February. And my sister is doing better, but she's still in the hospital or still in rehab and still on a feeding tube and still mainly paralyzed on her left side. So it's still hard time. I'm doing a 3-4 though, because I'm also lighting a candle for Ann Johnson, who went off of her chemo so that she could go to her grandson's graduation yesterday. And hopefully while she's off of her chemo, she'll have more energy and we might even get to see her. And I also talked to Sharon and Johnny Matchett, who are glad they moved to upstate New York, but miss us terribly and tend to stay home and watch us rather than going to the Unitarian Church there.
Hi, I'm Kevin McKinney, and I'm lighting a candle because this past Thursday, the Senate passed the trans care ban in our state, despite determined opposition from activists, including some in this congregation, and sympathetic legislators. It seems pretty much inevitable that the House will quickly reconcile the two versions of the bill, and this will become law because we know our beloved governor will sign this in a heartbeat, no pun intended. So this is a candle of concern for all the kids and even adults, because this has some impacts on adult trans people as well. All those whose lives will be made more difficult or, God forbid, even put at risk due to this extremely ill-conceived and not reality-based legislation. Sorry, I didn't mean to editorialize quite that much.
This is a candle of memory for my mother, Eleanor Graham Jordan, who was born in 1917 in Greenville, South Carolina. Now, when I was growing up, we had real sex education, but she made sure that she talked to me after every session and answered every single question. She also told me stories of women who wanted to get their tubes tied but couldn't because their husbands would not permit it. And she made sure that I understand that sex was a responsibility as well as a really nice thing. So, Vicki, I'm so glad you're here, and that prompted me to light this candle.
Good morning, my name is Bill Dawley, and for the sake of being brief, I'm going to read what I have to say. Just pretend it's a teleprompter. This is a candle of concern for my stepdaughter, Amy. Amy lives in Central Maine. Right now, she's homeless. She's homeless because her husband went on a drunken rampage last month, and after physically assaulting her, he barricaded himself in their 3-year-old home. This prompted a full response from the Maine State Police. They showed up with a tactical team in full riot gear, including assault rifles and an armored vehicle. During this incident, the police hurled tear gas canisters into every room in the house, hoping that her husband would come out. When he didn't, they drove their tactical vehicle up the driveway, and rather than driving around both family vehicles, they decided to drive through them. They pushed both vehicles up against the house, causing significant body damage to both vehicles and the house, and breaking the radiators on both vehicles. Both vehicles are undrivable. After that, they fired a flash bomb into the house that when it detonated, it blew out every single window in the house, including the sliding glass door. The house is unlivable. There's a thick residue of tear gas on everything. You can't stand in a house for more than 5 minutes. It's just unbearable. Let me be clear, I am not demonizing the state police. You know, as evidence in Charlotte showed us this week, when you get a call like this, you have to hope for the best, but plan for the worst. Right now, Amy and her college-age daughters have no place to live and no vehicles to drive. Granddaughter number 1, and I don't play favoritism, it's just an order of appearance, will graduate from college in 2 weeks with distinction. She's awesome. This situation is deeply concerning for Bonnie and me, in as much as Amy is Bonnie's daughter, her husband I keep referring to is my son. That's true. We have children that are married to each other. Bonnie and I will celebrate our 31st anniversary in August. Obviously, this is our second marriage, but This is pretty tough. Please send positive thoughts to my stepdaughter Amy and her 2 girls. If you're so inclined and you want to do more, and I'm a little ashamed to ask, but there is a GoFundMe account in her name, Amy, A-M-Y, Dolly. She and her girls deserve better. Thank you.
I do have one more candle that I will use to light for Julian and Lee Mingy. Julian, as you know, took a fall. Many of you know, took a fall as they were trying to travel to London. So when I was sitting with Julian this week on Friday, he asked that I light a candle of compliance. And that is that he will be compliant with his oxygen, be compliant with the physical therapist, be compliant with using assisted services in walking. So this is, I think, my first candle of compliance, but also concern for Lee and Julian as well. And of course, we always have a space for our silent joys, our silent concerns to be filled in here. I invite you to take just a few deep breaths. A lot has been shared. Take in all that you've heard and send that love appropriately. Truly, we believe in life and in the strength of love. Absolutely. As we prepare for our offering this morning, we've already met Vicki Ringer, who is here representing our Share of the Plate recipient for this month of May. And so, Vicki, will you come and share about the work? Not busy at all right now, right? With Planned Parenthood.
And I want to thank Kevin, who came up here and spoke on behalf of our trans friends. It was a difficult week, and regardless of what your thoughts are, there are real families and people behind those stories. And I have become very good friends with David and Rebecca Bell, who have a 15-year-old daughter, and they have 2 daughters, and now, because of this, the family will separate. And the father will take one daughter to the West Coast where she can receive care, and the mom will stay here until the other daughter graduates from high school. And the things that have been said about that, as you might imagine, are heartbreaking. Look in those parents' faces and know that they have done everything for their children, and the legislature just votes so callously. And it's the same ones, as you might expect, who would deny our reproductive health care. They're not content with banning abortion. And as we've seen since 2022, when Roe was overturned, abortion is never just about abortion. It is the treatment for miscarriages and the life of the woman when that is at risk, the life of the infant when that is at risk. So there are so many situations. We had a woman come to see us recently. She had gotten a diagnosis. Her fetus had no skull. There's no way for that to survive. And she sought an abortion, but her doctor would not provide one because there's a chance that baby could be born alive and live for a few minutes. But it would die immediately and probably a very painful death. And so we all helped her. We have our funds, get to Washington, D.C., but away from her doctor, away from her network, away from her family, and get on a plane and fly to D.C. And then the next thing we're hearing about in those same lines, and you probably heard about it this summer, is IVF under threat. There are legislators who believe that IVF is a sin. People that want to have babies, that want to expand their families. But their claim is that if God wanted you to have babies, he'd make you have babies. So that and contraception, because God wants you to have babies, so you shouldn't use contraception. It is unlike anything that I've ever seen. And in the meantime, South Carolina, like so many other states, the ones with the most restrictive bans and laws concerning reproductive health also have the highest maternal mortality, infant mortality, the lowest wages, the highest uninsured women and children, the greatest needs for children. 140,000 children in South Carolina will go to bed hungry tonight. So there are many things that we need to do. I thank you for all you do. I always feel like I'm among friends here, and I see many of you that are friends and soon to be friends. So thank you so much for all you do for us and for our community. And thank you for welcoming all people here. That truly inspires me. I left my former church because they broke off from the denomination over the role of LGBTQ people in the congregation. And I could no longer be a part of that church. So it feels good to have that sense of welcome here. One thing we are trying to do, and I'm going to wrap it up, I promise, is start a petition campaign. South Carolina does not have the right to petition our government to put something on the ballot. We're one of 24 states that do not. So while all the states that have put the Roe standards or some other right to abortion on their ballot and won in Kansas and Kentucky and Ohio, all these red states, South Carolina does not. And Republicans seem, I'm not supposed to get political. Some people are bound and determined not to give us the vote, but we're gonna make such a big show and stink about it that at least they will recognize that we are the majority in this state. So out in the narthex lobby, whatever y'all call it, there is a sign that looks like this. Just look for a green sign. And then forms. If you don't want to put your name on here, you can scan the QR code and sign our petition. And that your information stays within us. We won't be sharing all that with legislators because they'll be asking you for donations. But anyway, I hope that you'll take a minute to sign that. And again, thank you for welcoming here, and thank you for your support of Planned Parenthood. Thank you.
Vicki, we're so glad you're here and glad that you feel welcome. And it just so happens that Annette has the membership book right there and a pen. So no pressure or anything, but we'll sign your petition and you sign ours, right? I'm kidding. But no, it is our pleasure to be a partner this month with Planned Parenthood and really every month of the year. So, this time I invite our ushers to come and receive our morning offering.
We welcome new member Cliff Sheely to sing our offertory music today, The Prayer by Carol Bayer-Sager and David Foster.
and watch us where we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace to a place where we'll be saved. I pray we'll find your light and hold it in our hands. When stars go out each night, remind us where you are. Let this be our prayer when shadows fill our day. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, give us faith so we'll be saved. A world where pain and sorrow will be ended, and every heart that's broken will be mended, and we'll remember we are all God's children, reaching out to touch you, reaching to the sky. We ask that life be kind and watch us from above. We hope each soul will find another soul to love. Let this be our prayer, just like every child needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved. Needs to find a place. Guide us with your grace. Give us faith so we'll be saved.
Thank you, Clift. We receive our offering this morning, our symbol of our commitment to our good work. So the elders lit the chalice, Clift sang for the offertory, and once again, Sharon's gonna come for the sermon. Is that right? No, I'm just kidding. She's not gonna fall for that twice. She's like, I'm not even biting on it this time. Thank you all, and it's so great to have you all here in this space. And many of you are already on committees, so you're already actively working in this space as well and leading us. Dr. Russell Booker, who is currently the CEO of the Spartanburg Academic Movement, spent 20 years of his life in education as a teacher, and then as a school administrator, and then ultimately as a district superintendent, and 1 year earning the honor of Superintendent of the Year in South Carolina. Recently shared his reflection as he was bringing his education career to a close and moving toward advocacy in the state of South Carolina. Brought a reflection on the lessons that were learned from COVID as an educator and looking at the impact that on the education system. Many things such as thinking about the mask that we wear and maybe not taking them off so quickly, and not even talking about the physical mask, but remembering the metaphorical mask that we wear. They serve purposes. South Carolina isn't always the safest place to fully be yourself. So some masks are appropriate to wear, but finding a community where you can take your mask off completely and be seen and known and loved and affirmed and welcomed. He also talked about how easy it is in our culture of virtual world to someone, as he described it, to unfollow them, to unlike them, or to unfriend them. It's so easy, it's just a click of the button. And in our culture, he shared, it seems that when one person makes a mistake or says something contrary to a belief, that we just them and cancel them in our culture. The one thing that stood out to me is a statement that I'd like to share for our new member signing. And as he reflected on the necessity of social distancing and isolation and quarantine, he brought a phrase describing what we should be seeking now. And I love this phrase, and it makes me think of the group of 12 people standing in front of us this morning. He said that we should be, at this point in our culture, actively seeking proximity. Say that with me. Actively seeking proximity. It's okay if you have to look up what the word proximity means, or actively, that's fine. But essentially, how can we actively find ourselves connected in spaces together? I think if you wanted to, if you had some time, you can make a game of how many times I use the word community or the word connection in a sermon over the life of a year here at the UUCC. You may get tired of hearing it, but I do believe that in conjunction with all the things that we believe here, that togetherness is essential to our well-being, to living a grounded life, both physically or emotionally and spiritually. Belonging is a universal human need. This need to be loved, this need to be protected, to be a part of a larger family or a social group. It's deeply rooted in our biology and our psychology. We are primates, and we take a long time to reach maturity. Some longer than others, right? It takes years before we can move very far on our own, and we don't even begin to grow a viable set of teeth for several months, and then at some point in our life, we start to lose those viable set of teeth. And we are defenseless at times unless we are nurtured and protected. As well as being protected, our identity is shaped by this socialization, and it occurs over and over at different points and cycles in our lives as we learn how to communicate, how to interpret and understand the world around us, how we behave and how we fit into systems and how we don't fit into some systems, and how all of that social network teaches us who we are. I love this phrase of Booker because it is describing a key to life, that we can't just wait for community to come to us. We have to be actively seeking a microphone. There we go. That didn't even get a smile from you, David. We have to be actively seeking proximity. David's been known, if I say something, to just edit it out there, so. These 12 new members who are joining us this morning are practicing the art form that Booker describes of actively seeking proximity, not signing a document to adhere to a set of creeds and beliefs, but they are committing to a covenant. And so today is not just the chance for them to commit to that covenant, but for all of us to renew that commitment to covenant in this community. As our UU history describes covenant is the silk that joins Unitarian Universalist congregations, communities, and individuals together in a web of interconnection. The practice of promising to walk together is the precious core of our creedless faith. Covenant is both a noun and a verb. It can be a written agreement among individual community members, promising how to behave in certain ways, and it can mean to engage in mutual promises with spirit, with other people and communities. As the UU minister Victoria Weinstein says, the relationships we form in our church are based on the needs of the soul, needs that render each of us vulnerable and therefore reliant on each other's grace and goodness and generosity of spirit. So as the group this morning signs their name to this membership roll, committing to this covenant and joining that silk of the covenant that binds us together, we do the same. We metaphorically re-sign our names right now in this moment together. And in doing so, right now, in this moment, right here, we are a brand new congregation. We are not the same as we were yesterday. For today, we've welcomed new members, and by their arrival, we are a newly formed UUCC. And new members, it's not up to you to assimilate and become just like those who are here and have been here for a long time. And couldn't find this word before when I called you old members. Longtime members. Where's the language when you need it, right? Longtime members, it's not up to you to just sit back and wait on assimilation or to build in those trenches and say, they are different, we don't want to change. It's not up to you to forget or forsake or forgo things also that you cherish about this congregation. But it's up to all of us together to create this future of the UUCC with all the gifts and the challenges that we face today and moving forward. This is a brand new day, and I believe this group is up to this task. Sometimes it does take some pause and moment of reflection and intentionality, and I believe this group is committed to that kind of intentionality. I was reading recently an article that described by an anti-oppression consultant and group dynamic consultant that described a concept called preemptive radical inclusion, which is a way of being, of leading, a philosophy about creating just, loving, and creative spaces in the world, and an adaptive set of perceptions and practices that people use to increase justice and equity in their lives. PRI, as it's called, preemptive radical inclusion, is preemptive because we, as a congregation, are responsible to figure out in advance how to involve everyone in all the activities of the community and the congregation. And we make those changes sometimes without attendees even being here yet and having their needs known to us yet. But we're looking ahead and we're planning for them. The board has done that over this past year and is continuing that work with the CYRE committee because we don't just want to stand up here on Sunday and say we are a welcoming congregation to families. We have to do things. We have to commit to do things that meet the needs of those families and create those experiences. We have to do preemptive radical inclusion. And the burden is on us to be aware of those needs, not only in our congregation, but remember, we are a church sitting in Columbia, South Carolina. It's up to us to find the needs that are in our community as well. We are not just equal and all equal together, but some are more equal than others, to quote Orson Welles from Animal Farm. We are a covenant community together, committed to being this inclusive community and meeting the needs and constantly growing as each new day affords us. It's up to you and me to help co-create this kind of spiritual community that meets the needs of everyone involved, being a social action and justice community, meeting the needs of that community around us. I can say that I am proud to be a part of a community that actively seeks proximity, that is committed to inclusion and being radical. We always are committed to being radical. And as a part of that community and as a representative of that community, committed to the covenant we share, I say to all 12 new members today, and I want you all to join me as the kids did. Welcome.
Our closing hymn, the instructions for the closing hymn are in the title. It says, "Come sing a song with me." I'm going to play just part of this as an introduction, and then you can sing along. So please stand. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me. Come sing a song with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when home is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me. Come dream a dream with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me. Come walk in rain with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love that grows in the winter time. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me. Come share a rose with me, that I might know your mind. And I'll bring you home when hope is hard to find. And I'll bring a song of love and a rose in the winter time.
Our closing words today come from Tom Owen Towle from his book, Free Thinking Mystics with Hands, Exploring the Heart of Unitarian Universalism. As a religious heritage bonded not by creed, confession, or a common prayer, but by covenant, Unitarian Universalists vow to stay at the table long enough to understand one another and mold a viable community. Ours is a fellowship united not by law, but by loyalty, by faithfulness of vows rather than the sameness of beliefs. and we promise to hold and be held by one another, we pledge our troth and our trust. Fidelity, internal discipline, and mutual responsibility are required in a covenantal faith in order to work our differences out together. In joining a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we confess that we are not self-sufficient pilgrims. We are pilgrims who pledge our troth to uphold a beloved community of personal growth, social justice, and spiritual awakening, for better or for worse, forever. Troth is all that we have to offer, but it should prove sufficient adhesive to bind us together for the length of our shared journey.
Please remain standing as we extinguish the chalice and join us in singing the choral benediction. May the blessings of truth be upon us. May the power of love direct us. And may the peace of this community sustain us till we meet again.
On behalf of the membership committee and all these new members, I'm so delighted that you're here. Sorry if I rushed through my sermon. I don't have the gift of talking fast. Some would say I don't have the gift of talking at all. But I had good reason today. The guacamole is already out, and we don't want that to start turning brown out there. And so we are ready to celebrate these new members. Once again, I invite you on just the other side of the petition. There is a bio on each of the new members that you can read and share and get to know them a little bit. Vicki will be here for a little bit too.
I'm going to stay a little bit.
All right.
Today's my anniversary.
Oh, all right. All right. Yep, good. That's a good reason to leave. But I know they're always available if you want to contact them for information. Thank you all for being here. If you are a guest, please stick around and so that we can get to know you. And just a reminder, the kids are back in an RE event. And so if your kids are out there, make sure that you go ahead and get them out so they can enjoy the celebration and so the teachers can do that as well. Thanks.
And as you exit, we're going to play a piece that's called Saints Go Marching In, and you can pretend that you are the saints and you are marching out.